everyone. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. That makes me sound way more impressive than I am. Thank you for that big warm-up. Listen, I'm not going to stand here and give you a speech. I want this to be a discussion and interactive, not least because if you've just had lunch, everyone normally feels really sleepy after lunch, and the post-lunch session is always quite boring. So I'm going to try and make this one a bit more interesting. And I am going to start off, because this is about global citizenship, to ask you a question. Oh, thanks. I'll just pop that in there. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as we go along. So if something resonates or you disagree with something, just raise your hand and tell me. So, how many of you here have had opportunities to engage globally, either through travel, education, or digital platforms? Just put your hand up if you feel you've engaged globally. Could be on social media, could be by getting on a plane. Okay, I feel like I'm great. I'm going to go round. What did you do?
I just studied in the US and across Africa, 20 countries.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but China is good listening to the Chinese. Thank you.
Okay, who else had their hands up? Some people over here, right? Did you have your hands up? Now you're wishing you didn't put your hand up? I'm coming to, who had their hand up here? There was definitely some.
Thank you. I am a shoemaker and I have clients in Europe.
Clients, what do you do?
I make shoes, sandals.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, and I've sold in Europe.
Brilliant. Who else had their hand up? I might do away this. Can you hear me if I don't use the microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you have your hand up too? No, you're like, no.
Thank you. Only traveled, not very far, only 2 countries, Kenya, Uganda, for cultural and how do I call it? Knowledge exchange.
Yeah, brilliant. Who else had their hand up? So everyone else feels that so far they've not managed to yet engage globally. Is that right? Come on, who uses social media? Put your hand up if you use social media. Let me see. So on social media, do the people you follow only live in Rwanda?
No.
Then you've engaged globally. Do you post on social media? And do you have people who follow you from outside Rwanda? Then you have engaged globally. So more of us are engaging globally than perhaps we think. It doesn't mean that you have to have travelled or studied overseas, but even just engaging with people in different continents is engaging globally. I have another question to ask you, because all of this is about how people who can sometimes find it hard to feel included can be included. And so I'm just interested if anyone wants to share a story about a time that they felt excluded. I can start, I can share my story. So when I joined the Foreign Ministry, which was now many, many years ago, most of the people who joined the Foreign Ministry as young diplomats had been to a very posh school in the UK, and they'd often been to Oxford or they'd been to Cambridge, which, as you know, are the 2 big universities. And I hadn't been to a posh school. I'd gone to a normal public school in quite an inner city part of Birmingham, which is the UK's 2nd city. It's quite industrial. And I'd been to a university that definitely wasn't in the top 10 of universities. And when I got to join the Foreign Ministry, and I was surrounded by all these people who'd had a very different background to me, And I felt that I couldn't fit in with them, I didn't look like them, I didn't sound like them. I felt that they were sort of looking down on me a bit because of my background. I felt very excluded. So I'm just interested if anyone else wants to share a story of when they felt excluded. This is when you all have to be brave. We're all friends here. Otherwise I'm going to pick on the trainer. Anyone?
Someone can give a try too. At any point you felt either excluded, either from a discussion, from a job, from an appointment, anything, innovation, school, anywhere. You can share. Anyone? See my shy people today.
Otherwise I may just have to be really exclusionary and pick on somebody to tell me a story. I'm going over here. Tell us about any time that you felt you didn't quite belong.
Thank you very much. For me, I can say sometimes that I tend to work with Christian people. Unfortunately, I'm not a Christian, so it was very complicated. They got me out with the attitude together. So that's the time that I can mention. Thank you very much.
And so I'm just interested, what's your name, Sarah? How you overcame that, because the way I overcame it was like, right, I'm not going to let all you rich people make me feel rubbish about being a diplomat. I am going to be even better than you are. I'm going to get promoted faster than you do, and I'm going to make High Commissioner before you do. And I did it. How did it make you feel?
On my case, how I overcome, so I really need respect. So I respect those people and try to show them why this matter or doesn't matter. Luckily, the God read them, the God that everyone have his or her right.
Yes.
So luckily, at the end of the day, we collaborate together. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Anyone else? Excellent. Lynn.
Thank you. My name is Alison Conrad, and the time that I felt excluded is back in high school. I studied in a single school where it was a school for boys only, and I was too feminine. I felt excluded. And then came the time where I had to join the debate crowd because and then because I was too feminine, I said, oh my god, I can't fit with the guys, and they always used to bore me and see me differently and treat me differently. The way I overcame that, even though they weren't ready to work with me or cooperate with me, I showed them that I have brains, and I'm genius and I'm white. And later we
Anyone have art? Yeah, we've got one down here. Super. Stella.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Tema, and at the time I felt like
Excluded.
excluded, I forgot the word. At the time I just joined the university. As an international student coming to Rwanda, sometimes it's so hard. Can give you an example. Many international students are excluded in the activities. An example, when people are just going for the commemoration of genocide against the Tutsi, they don't just let the international students also participate. We can also go there and commemorate for the people who died, even though we were really young, just the stories we had. So how I overcame the program, the challenge, I just made friends over the university and went to the administration and we met a group of international students in the school. Yeah, and we solved the problem, and right now, yesterday, last year, month, I went to, I forgot its name, is it? This was the collaboration, something like that. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we've sort of got different, we're talking about different experiences here. So I'm talking about coming from a background when I was working with people who were basically richer than I and had different educational opportunities. You've been talking about being a foreigner in Rwanda and how that feels. You were talking about your experiences at your all-boys school. The thing that, and I'd be interested not to pick on Stella or Lynn, but it's really easy, isn't it, to talk about how we overcome feeling excluded. But in that moment, it was really hard. This wasn't something that I decided to do just like that, and then I did it. I probably spent a year feeling like I didn't belong before I decided, come on, you can do this. So, and I think that's a really important thing, is that to remember it doesn't happen overnight, but mindset is really important. But I also saw quite a few of my colleagues who were in the same position as me left the Foreign Service because they didn't want to, they didn't like it, they thought it wasn't for them. And that's okay too, right? You have to feel comfortable in the environment that you are in. Global citizenship. So we've talked about how we feel in Rwanda. If we think about global citizenship, how inclusive, well let me go back, let me start with Rwanda and then we'll go global. So I want you to hold up, let's do it, one hand. So I want you to put up your hand. If you think Rwanda is really inclusive, it's a 5, and not inclusive at all, it's a 0, and anything in between, okay? So whatever number you think, how inclusive you think Rwanda is, so you can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, after 3, I'm going to put over your hand, I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see what we've got. We've got a 5, 5, 5, 0. You're not sure, maybe 3. 5, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5. 5, 5, 4. Is that a 3? 4, 3, 5. Okay, there are lots of 5s here. Okay, now I'm going to do the same for what you think the UK is, based on what you know about the UK. Okay? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. What? As if we're not very inclusive at all. Let's do it. If you have a guess, how inclusive do you think the society is in the UK? In Great Britain? In England? 4, 3, 1. Over here. I have to ask Kevin, why do you think the UK is not very inclusive? Do you want to use that microphone? It's okay, you can use that.
Okay, thanks. The reason I think UK is not very inclusive. For example, there is still some racism for black people, and for immigrants, those people who cross from Algeria, Morocco, in UK, they are not welcomed when they get there. They take them, bring them back in Africa, and I think that's not good.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kevin. Who else? What did we have here? Remind me of what you have. 4, 3, 5. Not sure. 4. I'm going to go to you. Why a 3?
my wisdom to read is about like Africa, how they take African people. Very happy. So even they can't know counters in their people. They just make recall always. Please, you people go at your home, go back. So I know two.
Not even lower.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And so, actually, this is a really interesting conversation because there's actually a score that you can get for how inclusive a country is, and it's about the rights it affords different communities and so on. And the UK actually scores a little bit higher than Rwanda. So in theory, the UK is more inclusive than Rwanda. I think the highest countries were sort of Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, Finland, they come out the top. But what is really interesting, of course, is that your perception, seen from here, perhaps having never visited it, is very different. And the image that the UK gives off is one of a country that is a bit racist towards Africa and immigration and wants to send all the migrants back home. And I can totally understand where that impression comes from. But then the challenge, isn't it, as we all try and think globally and act locally, is how do we know we're thinking the right things about a country, and how do we make sure that we don't self-censor. And what I mean by self-censor is that we stop ourselves doing things ourselves because we think we won't fit in, or it's a bit scary, or they won't like me. And so we stop ourselves taking the opportunities because we worry that it's not going to work for us. And what when I've been in Rwanda, I've spoken to a few people who have the same perception of the UK, who then go, they have an opportunity to go, they see it, and they say, oh, actually, it's not so bad, after all. And particularly people from the LGBT community are amazed by just how open society is in the UK compared to here. But I sometimes find, and I say this as someone who comes from, a background that's a bit different to others in the UK, is that sometimes you worry that you won't fit in, but actually when you get there you realise that people really take you to their hearts and embrace you. So I suppose my first lesson of the day is do not self-censor. Do not think, I won't fit in, I can't do this, it's going to be too hard, why won't people accept me? We can all achieve our dreams if we put our mind to it. I have another set of questions. Sorry, I'm going to trip over the wire. For me, I think the best saying I ever heard was, your background does not define your future, your vision does. So again, because I don't want to do too much speaking, I'm going to go around, I'm just going to throw the microphone at someone, and I want you to tell me what is your ambition in life, what do you want to do? And I say this because I wanted to be a diplomat ever since I was 14. Which is a bit sad, really, because most 14-year-olds are going to parties and having fun and not wishing they were a diplomat like I was. But that was my dream. So, Jan, what's your dream?
I have many dreams, but most of which is like to have business, to check on the business, like have someone establishment, like the tourism or something related to that. So it's like management, to have a business, strong business.
Brilliant. Okay, so Jan is going to be a rich businessman. Did Didier, what are you doing?
Thank you very much. My name is Didier, and my dreams or my vision is to be a businessman. I'm learning networks and communication systems. So I want to make a business which is technology related, but also which will help which will help many people, especially young ones, and especially those ones who weren't able to finish their studies due to different circumstances. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. Is there anyone here who doesn't want to be a businessman or woman? You don't want to be a business person? Good. What do you want to be?
Thanks. The reason why I like to go ahead is that depending on the path I am, actually currently I do business and I tend to grow the business.
You're another businessman!
Yeah, but another thing is that I'm the path of being a politician kind of.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's see. Who else does not want to be a businessman or woman? You are a business person, you're selling shoes. Oh, okay.
I want to become an educator.
Wow. Like a teacher or a professor or?
Yes, I want to partner with the LGBT community and I want to teach them the English language.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, I'm walking because these people get left out, so I'm coming around here now. Okay, who here does not want to be a businessman or woman, but wants to be so if you look at the clean cooking phenomenon, for example, here in Rwanda, it was started off by a couple of people trying something new, and now the government's embraced clean cooking, we're seeing clean cooking in schools, so it just goes to show that you don't need to start with a lot of money, you just need ideas, creativity, and passion. And I did, before I came out, look up, this is where I need your phone, I've just discovered ChatGPT. Has anyone else discovered this amazing AI tool, which I now use for anything, everything and everything. So I asked it a question earlier because I knew I was coming to see you. I said, give me the details of some young Rwandan entrepreneurs who started small and grew their business into something big. What did they do? And actually, quite a lot of people came up. So there was a lady who now runs Avocare Limited. She started with 2,000 Rwandan francs, that's all. She used her 2,000 Rwandan francs and she bought some avocados. And then she experimented by making avocado oil at home. And after she tried for a number of weeks, she produced 60 millilitres of oil, that was all. But it was enough to enter a youth innovation competition, which she won. And she won 400,000 Rwandan francs, which she used to scale up. And now her business is one of the biggest in the health and wellness market in Rwanda. So that's not bad from 2,000 francs, right? I've got another one here who, with 5,000 Rwandan francs, bought thread, crochet tools and tapestry to make a small rug. She then posted her rug on social media. She then got a lot of attention online, lots of people loved her rugs, they all asked if she could make them one, and now she runs a successful brand, creating rugs, carpets, clothes and interior design in Rwanda, heading for multi-million-pound business. Then there was Florence. Florence started with a bicycle and a dream and no money. And after dropping out of school due to poverty, Florence joined the Village Enterprise Programme, where she learned some business skills, teamed up with 2 friends, started a mobile bakery, and they began selling beignet, chapati and mandazi in the local market, and now they have a district-wide business. So these stories show that with creativity, resilience and community support, you can turn even the smallest idea into a thriving business. So it doesn't take much, it just takes a bit of creativity and passion. So I suppose that's my second message to you, which is your ideas can change the world. My thought is education is your superpower. So knowledge is the most powerful tool for transformation, whether it's through formal learning, formal education, online learning, or community mentorship. And now, thanks to social media, there are 1,000,001 ways in the world to access education. And I don't mean education in terms of formal learning, but if you want to start your own business, you will find someone on social media who's done it somewhere else in the world already. That you can learn from what they've done, where they went wrong, make sure you don't make the same mistakes. Use them as a mentor, someone to inspire you. And then the most important thing for me is that once you then have your multi-million-pound shoe business and sideline in English teaching, make sure you give it back, right? Mentor other people, share your lessons with younger people, help them also have the same breakthrough. My fourth is about collaboration. So good global citizens work together across borders and really building networks locally and online, not just with people who share your passion, but also people within the region. I talk to a lot of UK business people who want to come and invest in Rwanda. And they're really interesting actually, because Rwanda is quite a small market, right? If you think about Africa, it's only got 14 million people. And so I say to these investors, why are you coming to Rwanda? Why are you not going to Uganda or Tanzania with 68,000 people, or 1 million people? The market is bigger. And they say, because the thing about Rwanda is that it is extremely easy to set up a business here. There is no corruption. The bureaucracy runs smoothly. The roads work, the airport works, politics work. So they come and they try Rwanda as their footprint in Africa, and then they use Rwanda as their launch pad into harder markets like Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Sudan and elsewhere. So use Rwanda as your launch pad. If that's what British companies are doing, then that's absolutely what you should do too. Okay, brilliant. You'll tell me if I'm going on my session. Okay. My next lesson is economic empowerment starts small. So just as we heard about the lady with her avocado manufacturing, don't wait until you've got loads of money in the bank to start being economically active. You can start with 2,000 francs, and you can do really cool stuff, and social media can be your platform to promote it. So learn your digital skills, get really good on social media. I say this as someone, I don't really like social media because I'm an old lady, and I have 2 teenage daughters, one who's 19 and one who's 17, and they despair of me on social media because apparently I write really boring posts, and I don't use TikTok. Do you all use TikTok? Very big TikTok. And I don't have an Insta account, and I use Facebook, which is only for old people. But they, certainly when I look at my kids, they are all over social media. And I had a colleague actually in the Foreign Office in London, and her sister runs a multi-million-pound bikini and swimwear business. And when I said, well, how come you've got a sister who does that? She started on TikTok wearing her own bikini, and then some Hollywood star liked her bikini, and then she asked her for the bikini, and then once the Hollywood star wore the bikini, everyone wanted the bikini. And so that's how she grew her business. And she said she would never have dreamt she could have done it without the power of social media. But the one thing she did say is that you need to keep learning. And you will all recognise this as you get older. Young people are not very forgiving, so you need to keep learning, keep innovating, keep speaking to your target audience. Then, I suppose, my penultimate word of advice is be proud of your roots. Your identity, culture and experiences are strengths, they are not limitations. The world needs diverse voices and perspectives, and I encourage you all to tell your stories and represent Rwanda with pride. And I think there is a huge job for young Rwandans to do in global society about telling the world that Rwanda is not just about the genocide against the Tutsi, which is the only reason people have heard the name Rwanda in the last 30 years, but that actually Rwanda is a cool, vibrant place with lots going on, really great to live, come on holiday, super safe. There's lots of innovation, creativity going on here, and you are going to be the very best ambassadors for your country. One of the things that I want to do while I'm here is change that perception of Rwanda in the UK. Is changing. So there's some really boring statistics that show increasingly British people are coming to Rwanda on holiday. That's always to me a good sign, right? You don't go on holiday to a country if you don't think it's interesting. And what we're also seeing increasingly is that Rwanda is now featuring in more TV adverts, more newspaper coverage in the UK, but in a very positive way. So there was a big programme last year, there was a very famous British comedian. He came to Rwanda for a week, he made a TV programme, he went and drank milk in the milk bars, he went up to Akagera, he learned how to make those pictures, what are they called, out of animal, out of cow poo. Do you know the ones I mean? What's it called? You know that Rwandan art that they make out of cow?
Cow skin?
No, like that. What's that thing? What's it called? Imigongo. He learned how to make imigongo. Anyway, he made this, and he was quite funny, he was a comedian, and he went back, and the programme aired on BBC, which is our big, like, RBC national channel. It got something like 12 million views, 12 million viewers, and then the next day, the travel agents reported a 300% increase in people asking the price of a flight to Rwanda. So it just goes to show how much it's changing. I think the other thing that is brilliant is that there is a direct flight between Kigali and London. There are not many African countries that have a direct flight to the UK. So that also will be seeing an increase of interest in Rwanda, because now then you can get on a plane for 8.5 hours and you're here. So we are monitoring it. It's going up at the moment. Let's hope it stays that way. On a completely different note, your question about using your personal stories to impress. I think being authentic is so important. I couldn't be a High Commissioner here where you're on duty 24/7, right? You can't be someone that you're not. You can't pretend to be something that you're not for that amount of time. And for me, it's all about being authentic and honest to yourself. And sometimes that comes with a cost, right? Because, I mean, I don't know, I know none of my colleagues, and we're not beaming anywhere live on this, are we? Because I have to say, most British diplomats are really boring. And I was determined from day one that I wasn't going to be a boring diplomat, but that makes me a bit different. Not everybody likes it. When I first arrived in the High Commission here, particularly for the Rwandan staff, I was so different to my predecessor, who was a man, and he was quite quiet, and he was quite shy. And then I come in, you know, and the Rwandan staff were a bit like, oh my God, who is this? And it took them a bit of a while to get used to it. But now they tell me they really like it. So you must be authentic and absolutely tell your personal stories. And I think sometimes the most powerful personal stories that can be the most motivating to other people is when you show a bit of your own vulnerability, talk about your own challenges, be humble about what you've experienced. That I find way more motivating than anyone else. So please, yes, whatever you do, use your personal stories because they will impress. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We had one question from a participant here. Can I just take two questions or one? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking from the quote, act locally, impact globally, I want to ask, as young entrepreneurs in the room, how can we try to innovate or link our business ideas or the running ones with SDGs, a kind of global English? Thank you.
Just one?
I was a bit worried you mentioned the SDGs. I'm always a bit worried when the SDGs come up because I can never exactly remember them. And what each of them are. But I think, I mean, there's certainly ones in there about climate. There's ones in there about poverty, and I'm going to look at you had them on your screen. I'm just going to stand here and remind myself of the SDGs. I mean, I think when I look at it, actually the thing that really strikes me is just how many of the SDGs are actually reflected in the NST2 for Rwanda. They are absolutely interlinked. And for me, I think you can find connections across all of them. But I would sort of say, you know, you take your idea and, how do I say it? You will be able to find partners regionally who want to work on the same stuff as you are. And whatever you're doing together, you will be able to feed it into Rwanda's own development story, its fantastic trajectory to date, the future of where it's going, and you'll be able to build a story around it that fits with the Sustainable Development Goals. The fact you're even thinking about those, I think, is brilliant. Again, I'm not sure if we were in a room in the UK with the same demographic, they would even be able to tell you what the SDGs are, let alone how the work that they're doing is impacting on it. So for me, that's another evidence of you guys being extremely good at, you know, delivering locally, thinking globally.
Maybe, okay.
Oh, I have to, yes, I have to go.
We need to release the ambassador. The questions are so many.
Go on, I'll take one quick one.
Just one, please, just one.
And then I have to go, I'm afraid. I have to go to a book launch.
Make it short, make it short.
My life is so glamorous. Stella.
I guess it's just going to be so big. It's not that question. My question is, what are the advices you can just give to the are going to launch our new businesses? I mean, business ideas into projects. Thank you.
That's actually a really interesting, so it's a quick question, Stella, because my answer is go for it. Go for it. This has been my motto in life. Go for it. Take risks, but also be prepared to fail fast. So there is stuff you will try. You should take risks, you should try stuff. But if it's not working, fail fast and try again. Too often I think we see people, they've got an idea, it's not really working, but they're so put into the idea, they've invested so much personal energy, I think they keep going with it, and it's still not working. If you see something's not working, stop, change direction, do something else. And now I do really have to go, I'm afraid. Thank you ever so much for having me. I hope that was useful.